Let's get to the main event now. And just a reminder before we do, please smash that like button. That definitely helps you guys out. We're at 107 right now, and we got over 230 guys in the chat. Do your part. Stay live in the chat. That's cool and all, but just hit that like. That's the extra you guys can do for us. All right, let's move on to the next fight here. Again, main event. We got Derek Brunson taking up another up-and-comer in Kevin Holland. We got Kevin Holland coming in as the favorite at minus 175, plus 155 on Derek Brown. Derek Brunson, goddamn, get your head in the game. We're almost done this stream. Derek Brunson obviously turns away Edmund Shabazian in his last fight as a huge underdog, close to a 3-1 underdog in that fight, is able to kind of withstand the power of Edmund and really start to wear on him in rounds 2 and 3, and ultimately finishing him in that third round. I think he's going to need a similar approach here. I think he's going to have to deal with Holland a little bit in that first round, but I don't know if Holland truly has that crazy knockout power that I think is going to be very over-exaggerated, especially after his knockout finish over Jacare Souza last time around. Yeah, it looked brutal. Yeah, it looked very, very bad for Jacare Souza, but I think that was just one of those like freak KOs, kind of similar to like the Nico Price and Randy Brown kind of knockout that we don't see that often. I think Derek Brunson will obviously have the grappling advantage here, at least from the wrestling aspect. Kevin Holland, black belt under Travis Lutter, but when you see him in those situations, it doesn't really look like he's a black belt, especially when he's spending the majority of round 3 under Darren Stewart, who's primarily a striker. So that was a huge red flag for me when I'm trying to break down this fight. I think Holland will have the striking advantage in terms of being the longer, rangier guy, obviously very unorthodox in his approach with a lot of spinning stuff and flying shit that he likes to throw. And his hands are pretty nice too, I'll give him that. But Derek Brunson, since moving down to Sanford MMA before his fight against Elias Theodorou, has just absolutely turned the corner. And you definitely see him give the props to Sanford MMA, especially after he finishes Edmund Shabazian. First thing he says when he gets up, 3-0, Sanford MMA. Like this, that just lets you know that he believes that camp is having a direct impact on how he's competing at this point in time. He's 37 years old. If he wants to get it going, it's got to be now. And now we're seeing a very disciplined approach from him. And I really like what we see out of him. He uses his striking well in the Ian Heinisch fight, uses his wrestling well in that fight as well. And then obviously the Edmund Shabazian does the same thing. Strikes well, grapples well, and then eventually ground and pound finishes Edmund Shabazian, who was already compromised going into that third round. But I think Brunson has all the skills in the world. I think that he'll have the better cardio here too. We've seen Derek Brunson drop a couple round 3s in his past, not to mention, again, most recently that Darren Stewart fight where he just could not get off of his back. That was very, very concerning, especially if you're a Kevin Holland backer in that fight. But Derek Brunson is going to be the better wrestler. I think you'll have the better cardio as well. In all of his fights, like his last 3 fights alone, it looked like he could go another 2 rounds if need be. The guy's cardio looks great. So if his chin holds up, which is a narrative I think is being overblown because of his fighting style from the past, which is just very reckless, crash forward, big winging hooks, leave your chin up in the air. That really cost him in the past. And now he's fighting a lot smarter. He's fighting a lot more discipline. And I think the knockout or his chin durability is going to be significantly lower now, or at least the chances of him knocked out are going to be significantly lower. And I don't think that Kevin Holland is this crazy knockout artist either. So Eileen Brunson, I just don't know if he gets this fight finished late, around 4 or 5, or by decision. But I think the safest spot I'll go with is giving Kevin Holland the benefit of the doubt, and I'll take Brunson to win by decision at plus 365. And I think it's going to come from a grapple heavy and wrestling heavy approach. And I think that we've seen other guys very successful against Kevin Holland in that aspect. And this is by far, in my opinion, you can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think this is the best wrestler that Kevin Holland has to go up against, at least in the UFC. So how do you see this one?
Yeah, okay, so when we talk about the last fight, Gregor Gillespie versus Brad Riddell, it's, oh, you're looking at the numbers, and one guy's getting takedowns every time, and one guy's getting taken down. If you want to look at this in the same light, it's the same thing. And Kevin Holland gave up, he went 2 for 2 takedowns against Jacare. Jacare shot 2 takedowns, got him down both times. Relatively easy, right? Darren Stewart took him down 3 times. Brendan Allen took him down twice. Alicia DiTrigo took him down twice. Joe Mearshart took him down 6 times. His takedown defense is just, it is lackluster. With Derek Brunson, I mean, listen, he's pretty one-dimensional with his wrestling, but he goes out there and he scores takedowns. Took down Edmund down 4 times. Took down Ian Heinisch twice. Took down Elias 4 times. He goes out there and he's scoring takedowns. So how do we think this fight's going to play out? Well, Kevin Holland's dangerous standing because he's long and he's unorthodox, man. The guy will throw a flying karate chop at you. Guy will throw a revert back elbow. Like, he'll throw sneaky techniques. He'll throw some spinning shit. For Derek Brunson, a guy that largely always has his chin clean up in the air, waiting to get countered, he probably is not going to want to stand with Kevin Holland for a prolonged period of time. What he's going to want to do is shoot these takedowns and get this fight to the ground. Once he does get the fight to the ground, we know that Kevin Holland was just awarded his BJJ black belt, but Derek Brunson's never been submitted. Derek Brunson's been in there with a lot of good guys, right? So I feel like if Brunson's on top, just holding him down, smothering him, raining down some light ground and pound, and Kevin Holland isn't able to scramble back up to his feet, it's going to be a problem. If this was a 3-round fight, I would think Derek Brunson has got a very good chance. But as far as a 5-round goes, like, to me, I just keep getting the idea that at some point Kevin Holland is going to clip him. Now, with Derek Brunson, you made a great point. You're like, maybe the fact that he's got a suspect chin is overblown. A lot of people will say, dude's been knocked out 5 times. Like, no, he does have a chin issue. But I actually tend to agree with you. Israel Adesanya knocked him out. Okay, no big deal. Jacare. Anderson Silva was a decision loss. Robert Whittaker. Yoel Romero. Jacare the first time, and then he got flat robbed by that Kendall Grove fight. That's his first pro loss. I didn't even count it. So let's just go over that again. Jacare was the top guy in Strikeforce. Yoel Romero was the Olympian. He actually took down Yoel Romero multiple times in that fight. Really looked good until he got knocked out. Robert Whittaker, former champion. Anderson Silva was a GOAT. Again, that one, he got robbed again. Jacare Souza in the rematch, and Israel Adesanya, the current middleweight GOAT. He's not losing to guys that are outside of the top 3, at top 5 at the very least. He fights the best guys. He gets knocked out by the best guys. Is Kevin Holland the best guy? Like, he had a great 2020, went 5-0. He knocked out a 41-year-old Jacare Souza. That was pretty tough. Coming from the back with the hammer fist, like, that was dope. Who the hell does that, especially to Jacare? But, like, fighting Charlie Ontiveros is like that's big. Split decision win over Darren Stewart. You lost the 3rd round to him. You look completely exhausted. The win over Alexander Fluffy Hernandez looks a lot better in hindsight that he beat Rodolfo Vieira. But again, like, are those quick wins over like top 30, top 35 guys? Like, does that make him a top 5 guy? Is he in the top 10 currently? I like that he's young. He's only 28. As we mentioned, just got awarded his BJJ black belt. In the Jacare fight, when he got taken down the first time, he looked super comfortable. Second time around, Jacare was already hurt and a little bit tired by then. And he puts it on and whatever. He lands some dirty shots off his back, whatever. It's a cool knockout. But, like, does that happen again to Brunson? Is he going to knock out Brunson off his back? No, he's got to get this fight standing. But that therein lies where 5 rounds should help Kevin Holland. The last thing goes back to your argument with Brunson, is like Kevin Holland's finishing these guys in the first round. The one time you've seen him get extended, which was the Darren Stewart fight, he flat gassed after 3. Derek Brunson just made a whole lot of money exposing Edmund Shabazian's lackluster ground game and takedown defense and gas tank. Could he not just go do the same thing to Kevin Holland? So anyways, what it really comes down to is if his hair is platinum blonde, because there's this thing right now where, like, these guys come in with platinum blonde, slim, shady hair, and then they just have like world beater performances.
Trevin Jones, I think, was the last one.
Oh my God, that guy kills me, man. Brunson looked really good his last time out rocking the platinum blonde hair. Charles Oliveira rocking the platinum blonde hair. He's reinvigorated. If Brunson goes out there and scores these takedowns and Kevin Holland starts to get tired, this is his fight to win. If Kevin Holland is that real deal prospect that people are making him out to be, and he goes and he lands the KO, certainly possible. This is a card that I think dogs have a chance, but I am siding with a lot of the favorites. I think Brunson's very much a live dog, but this is the prop show. I don't have to actually make a direct pick until tomorrow night. So what I do here is I give him my best prop. And man, I like the over 1.5, minus 185. I also got fight starts round 3, minus 125. So again, does Kevin Holland knock him out in the first round? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of banking on this 5 rounds, tire him out, get the fight, get back up, make him work, land something. And if Brunson has his way, he is the live underdog. You are right. He does win this fight. Yeah, he's banking 3 or 4 rounds before he takes out Holland. If he takes him out at all, he might just win a decision and just keep grounding him and beating him up, or like Shabazian, he crumples. But the difference there is Shabazian is 21, had no experience in the UFC, was really outgunned. Kevin Holland fought 5 times last year, like he is coming off a win over Jacare Souza, a guy that has been ranked in the top 5 for a decade. It's like he does have some good spots, he does have some good fights, he is way more experienced, and he's finally just starting to find his rhythm. And the shit talk is just legendary, right? So if you're in the apex, it's a small cage that favors the wrestler, does favor Brunson, but man, you can also listen to the shit talk. Maybe that swayed you, maybe damage off your back, like Yannick Kunitskaya versus Ketlin Vieira from a few weeks back, right? You're on your back, but you're working. That was in the apex as well, wasn't it? You're on your back, you're getting taken down, and you're working. Brunson's not huge with the ground and pound. He just does little more, just so that he don't get stood up. Keeps it going. Don't get stood up. But if Holland's out there throwing elbows, he likes to do the open hand slap a lot, especially when he's clinched up. He likes to palm slap. It's all just working, My worry is the harder he works, the more prone he is to getting gassed out. But again, I'm looking for that over 1.5, and I don't care if he gets gassed out after that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Brunson can continue this kind of gatekeeper status that he's at and just keep turning away these up and comers. And again, I'd like to see his chin get tested again. I truly want to see if Kevin Holland has this crazy knockout power that everybody continues to think that he has. But yeah, we're on the same side here, right? You're taking Brunson. You got Brunson here.
Honestly, officially, I did go with Kevin Holland, and
Okay.
Same thing on the show last night. Kevin Holland. I said I'd take Brunson in a 3-rounder. I got a gut feeling that in a 5-rounder, Kevin Holland's live at some point. But I think that if you like making money, I think that the play here would be the over 1.5, and hope that Brunson doesn't just get toppled over.
Even over 2.5 is not too bad around that -10, -120 mark. I like that spot as well too.
And that's why I took fight starts round 3, because I figured that it would at least get the first 2 rounds in the bank. The over 2.5, it's like, okay, an early 3rd round finish screws me. And the fight to start round 3, if your book offers it, was -125, right? So it's not really even that much different than the over 2.5. You're just saving yourself 2.5 minutes, right?
For sure. All right.